And so building that digital mindset, when you think about building that digital mindset, what a practical step to get there, right? Like, cause I know it's a bit out there. I see the bigger picture, but for somebody listening, I want to build a digital mindset within my team. As a leader, what do I need to do? And what does my team need to do? What do I need to expose them to in order to really elevate that mindset?
Great question. And I actually talk in quite a detail in my book as well, specifically on this building a digital mindset. So my argument is that we need to build two things. First of all is your digital literacy, of course, right? Now, that does not mean that you need to become a data scientist or you need to become an AI engineer, unless you want to, of course. But you need to understand that how different technologies that exist today, what can we use to solve some of the business problems today, what are the trends, read a lot of books. I always recommend that. There is no substitute to reading good books. Understand there are a lot of free courses available out there where you can just get an understanding of what AI is all about, how it can help us solve some of those pressing issues that we face today, what are the different methods within data analytics that we can apply and use them, and depending upon, of course, where you are in your hierarchy in the organization. Number one. And number two, but building a digital mindset requires us to have a growth mindset. So it is almost like a combination of the two. Digital literacy and growth mindset gives you a digital mindset. Growth mindset means that as a human, that applies, of course, to both the wider teams, but it applies, sometimes I say that it applies more to the leaders in the organization, because sometimes that's where people look up to and follow the lead and follow their footsteps. If as leaders we have a growth mindset, who we believe that as humans we can learn any skill, we can there is no limit to human mind on what can be taught or what can be learned. We build that growth mindset, and that requires us to do continuous learning, understand different aspects, and first of all be very open and acknowledging of the fact that, yes, I mean, I don't have answers to everything, but I'm willing to go out and I'm willing to answer to find those answers. When you create that kind of a culture as a leader within your team follows through your footsteps, and then they also work towards finding those answers. And when you are trying to find those answers, you will, again, I mean, there is no simple one tool or one course available out there, or a magic training available out there that I can just tell you to do it and it'll help you become a digital mindset. It's a continuous learning journey. And the continuous learning, as I always say, is not about how many trainings you are doing, how many hours training hours are you clocking, or how many certificates you are getting. It is about acknowledging that it is about the willingness to challenge your very own assumptions when in the light of new knowledge. Nice. That's what growth mindset is all about. That's what continuous learning is all about. So it's all behavioral thing. It has to be ingrained within our DNA. We need to ingrain this within our DNA in order for us to be able to build that digital mindset eventually. And it won't happen overnight, but we have to take the first step towards it.
Yeah, thank you so much for defining that. And I'm curious, I understand and I've seen how inspiring it is for a team to see their leader learn something new and share it with them during meetings. And they're like, okay, so they're coming up with this. I probably need to catch up. And, I can see how it will contaminate, quote unquote, the rest of the team to kind of elevate their game. So as we look further and we look further out, if you had to list the key skills that an AI-ready finance professional needs to develop over the next few years, what will be on that short list?
Of course, the first one will be that digital mindset, right? As I always say. But I think as future finance leaders, or as future business leader for that matter, there is one thing which is common, which is going to be the common through line, which is actually the common through line at this stage as well. And that is, we are all change managers of the future. Change is the I mean, it's a cliche that change is the only constant, right? So we need to become excellent at managing change. which of course requires us to systematically understand what are the business problems we are facing, what is in it for people, how we keep them engaged, how we get them on board with the change. So first of all, we need to build our skills around becoming a better change managers, number one. Number two, with AI coming in, there is going to be a lot of of productivity that comes out. Of course, there is a lot that happens as part of the output of technology. But how that technology works and what it does is still kind of a black box. And that is where the skill set around responsible and ethical AI becomes one of the most important ones in future. As finance leaders, we are, yes, and we are in a bit of a advantageous position, I would say, because we have a bit of a head start with our training and our predisposition to risk and governance and control. We can actually lead the charge in this responsible and ethical AI. As CFOs, we can ask the questions that why we should be doing something. What are the consequences of doing that? How data is currently flowing through within the organization? Having those making those right investment calls and right ethical decisions. And again, at the end of the day, responsible and ethical AI is a proportionate ownership. It's not something that only CFO can do or CSO can do or CTO can do. But as a CFOs, as a finance leaders, due to our position within the organization and how people look at to us for the ethical and governance decisions, we can influence that a lot. So that is one skill set which I always recommend which I always recommend to finance leaders to definitely get ahead on, get understanding of various aspects around what are the different regulations coming in, what are the different policies, procedures, and recommendations that come from different organizations around global organizations like UNESCO and OECD around responsible and ethical AI. Number two, and then I think the another important skill that we need is when AI is determining the most of the output, and now we are talking about agentic AI, which is actually have that agency and doing stuff for us. A lot of times there is this curtain of technology or curtain of AI that sits between us and the humans on the other side. So understanding the emotions of humans within the loop, within that orchestration of agentic AI and all the technological transformation is the key aspect, and what we can also call emotional intelligence. That is going to be one of the most, and in fact, that is one of the most important skill set to have and to build with us in order for us to be able to, because again, when we talk about technology, our first reaction is, oh, it is going to take away jobs.
Yes.
We forget that jobs or roles is just a description on a piece of paper. There are real humans who are working around those tasks and roles. What are their emotions? Being aware of what are their training needs. How does our decisions are impacting the people? They are not just the numbers or they are not just a cog in a machine. They are real beings, conscious beings who have emotions, who have social structures, who have social needs. So how do we remain aware of their needs when the technology comes in and take away and automate roles or automate tasks? How do we separate humans from tasks, and how do we understand their needs, and how do we actually help them grow as well, while of course making some tough calls as well? And there will be tough calls, right? I mean, I don't hide away from the fact that roles are not going to get impacted. They will. But how we manage those change again goes back to change management as well as being emotionally aware is very critical skill set that we need.